house, boy.
The race to one. We got 1 week, one tourney, one winner, one chicken dinner.
Put those fours up, folks. It is fourth quarter time. Look.
My bracket is busted!
Bracket's busted.
16 teams en route to the deciding champion.
The ball is tipped, and there you are. You're running for your life. You're a shooting star, and all the years. No.
10 seconds, I don't know.
Oh, look at this. Ethan Carter nails it.
But now it shows.
Oh, it was a tech. It was a techie.
It's a technical. Oh my. That was a flagrant foul.
Great pass from Porter. And the shot falls anyway.
But time is short, and the road is long. In the blinking of an eye, that moment's gone. And when it's done, win or lose, you always did your best. 'Cause inside you knew that it
Here we go.
Now Coach Jake's three goes up and nails it.
2-point game. OG still in the leading. It was denied by assistant David Robinson, and I'm talking about that brother could play like no.
Feel the beat of your heart, feel the wind in your face. It's more than a contest, it's more than a race.
On by Redmond, Phenom, guarded by Kearney. Double team comes. Phenom, let me turn away! Are you kidding me?
Possession, but instead Trey has another clean look and buries it. 3 straight.
When it's done, win or lose, you always did your best. 'Cause inside you knew.
Behind with number 6. And there's a. Oh my goodness! Semi-final number 1 in the SimWorld Hoops race to 1. Shoot. Pearson going to work behind the back and in!
It's victorious. Ilgauskas right back at them, sending it into the wall here at the SimWorld Sports Arena.
And Beast of the East will be advancing to the Race to 1 championship finals on Saturday to play Southeast Select.
It all comes down to this. Southeast Select, Beast of the East. Who will finally top the SimWorld mountain?
Welcome home.
Mom, Dad, this is Cindy.
Cindy, yes.
So nice to meet both of you.
Nice to meet you finally. Travis has told us so much about you.
All good things, I hope.
Yes, of course.
Good.
Please,
Thank
welcome.
you.
Oh, Mom, no. Dad, this is Shannon.
Oh, hi.
Shannon.
And this is Aaron.
Hey, cutie.
That is Jessica. Jenny, Sarah, Megan,
Hi.
Nicole, Elizabeth.
Acts. Use in moderation.
Good afternoon and welcome to Houston, Texas for the championship game of the SimWorld Hoops Race to 1. Beast of the East and Southeast Select, the top 2 defensive teams in SimWorld Hoops, squaring off for a chance to reign supreme. Southeast back in the title game, 1 season removed from a disappointing loss a year ago. I am Marsh, joined in the booth by Siege. Siege, welcome in. This is going to be a defensive battle. At least we expect it to be, and an exciting one at that.
Absolutely. We're here, Marsh. As you can see, it's electric in here. We've got a ton of players from around the league who came to see this game today. Everyone's excited. 2 teams that, like you said, bring the intensity defensively. It should be a great one here today.
Beast of the East coming in after the win over the Originators. Meanwhile, Southeast Select had to gut through a pair of close games against Showtime and Asia Pacific to book their ticket here. 1 year ago, they lost to Pacific Northwest in the championship game, but Here they are, a chance for Trey Turner and company to redeem themselves. First shot of the game won't fall there, as that's Shaky Travis kicking things off. Siege, let's start with 3 things that you expect to see here tonight.
Well, the first one I think is going to be a big key. It's 3-point shooting. Both of these teams are very good on defense. Number 1 and 2 in the league. Defensive points per game allowed. Both very good, but neither of them are very good at opponent 3-point field goal percentage. They both give up over 40% from 3, and both of these teams also shoot over 40% from 3. So I think whoever's going to be able to get their 3-point shots falling early and often is going to have a big leg up in this one.
Second missed jumper there for Southeast Select. They started 0-2 after the steal the last time down. Here's Kasim Porter Jr. He'll drive to the rack. That one's blocked away. That's going to be Kadarius Stack Jr. as this one heads out of bounds. Siege, we talk about big stars. What's the star matchup in this one that you're looking forward to?
Well, obviously the first name that comes to your mind when you're thinking star is Trey Turner. He's been unbelievable. Looks like a man on a mission, all race to 1 all season. And today we're going to see him matched up with Fareed Redmond, another one of the great scoring 2 guards that we have in our league, and he's going to get off hot.
And speaking of the devil, 3-pointer for Fareed Redmond starts our scoring here. Let's go next level, Siege. You talked about the stars. Fareed Redmond, Levin Cutler, Trey Turner. Who's maybe an unheralded player that you would expect to see and potentially flip this basketball?
Well, I think Kasim Porter Jr. is a guy who I'm expecting to have a big day today, be very contributing to the team. He said he wanted to have a bounce-back game today. He wanted to really be there for the team today. He's kind of one of those true point guards, so I think for him, he's going to want to be able to get everyone going, create shots for his teammates, things like that. And if he can do that, it's going to elevate their game heavily. And on the other side, for me, it's got to be Terrell Pearson and Gabe Pope. Gabe Pope more from a defensive and facilitating the offense kind of standpoint. And Terrell Pearson, when he gets going, is one of the better offensive role players in the league. I mean, we saw what he did last game, putting up 27 points in very limited minutes. If those two can get going for Southeast Select, it's going to make the game a lot easier for them.
Gabe Pope wanted to start the scoring and did for Southeast Select on that step-back 3. This is Terrell Pearson getting his first bucket of the afternoon, a step-back 2. 5-3 early on, 2 teams that are well-known for their defense. Southeast Select number 2 in both opponent points per game and opponent field goal percentage, second only to Beasts of the East. Kasim Porter Jr. guarded by Gabe Pope. Screen for Cutler. Into the paint. That's going to be a foul, and this one bounces out. First foul called here on Baldridge. Kasim Porter Jr. heads to the line. We'll step aside real quick. 5:28 to go early on here. Race to 1 championship game. Back in Houston, 5-3, Southeast Select up early on. Game that we expect to be low scoring as they come. That magic number of 69 may not be hit tonight considering the defensive prowess of both squads as Kasim Porter Jr. gets his first free throw of the game to go. Porter Jr. in 17.6 minutes per game, joined the Beast of the East about midway through the season. He leads the team in assists. And with those 2 free throws, remains unblemished from the free throw line. Perfect 1 1,000% or 100% from the charity stripe. Here's Shake Travis, swings it up to Gabe Pope. Driving to the rack. Pope, his second net. Now, Siege Pope started off pretty good in that win against Asia Pacific in the first quarter. Went ice cold in the second and third quarters. And then in that fourth quarter, less than 2 minutes to go, very big steal in the backcourt led to a 2-pointer. And then the next possession down after that one gave him a 4-point lead. His jumper from inside the paint made it a 6-point game. So he's been big for this Southeast squad as Levin Cutler easily gets that one to go over the top of Trey Turner.
Yeah, Gabe Pope, I mean, he does a lot of things really well. You know, we know that he's a premier defensive impact for his team, or really one of the better defensive perimeter players in the league. But what else he does is he's a very vocal defender. He speaks on defense. He's the kind of guy you want leading your defense because he talks. He gets other people vocal. He tells them where to go. He's on top of everything. I mean, he's just all around one of the better defensive players you could have.
Levin Cutler draws the foul here. Shake Travis comes flying in out of nowhere. Cutler really extending these possessions. For Beasts of the East, multiple offensive rebounds early on, and he'll head to the line, a 75% free throw shooter.
And they're free, Marsh. One thing I love about KPJ, like you said, 100%, they're free, and he takes them that way.
This one for Cutler. That one's good. As we're on a pace that we did not expect from a scoring standpoint. Each team on pace for just about 20 points here in this first quarter, which would most certainly lead to a higher scoring affair than we might have expected.
And I would expect both of these teams to kind of tighten down defensively, realize, you know, what kind of runs the opposition are using and kind of make adjustments towards that defensively. Both these teams are very good with defensive adjustments, so I would expect this game to slow down from a scoring standpoint, but you never know.
Trey Turner
Nothing to say about it.
from El Paso buries that three.
And I
Second
swear,
triple of the game.
It's crazy. Trey Turner always comes out in the first quarter so hot, and then we don't see him too much in the second or third in terms of, you know, most of the time speaking. And then in the fourth quarter, he comes back guns a-blazing like he never left. Like it's still the first quarter. It's honestly an anomaly to me how he can do that so consistently.
Marion Goodyear answers with a three. You know, I mentioned that on the podcast on Friday. You know, I think part of that is he gets full 8 minutes in the first and fourth quarters as he pulls up, wants another, gets another. His third of the game here in the first quarter. He's got 11.
God. He's a man on a mission, Mark.
He comes out, he gets 8 minutes in the first, he gets 8 minutes in the fourth, but his rotation is really shortened in the second and third quarters, and I think it just prevents him from getting into a rhythm. As Levin Cutler working on Pope, kicks it out, up top. Goodyear wants another three, halfway down and out.
Yeah, and I mean, look, there's something to be said for that. That's got to be by design by Coach Brett Lee. The discrepancy in minutes he receives in the second and third quarter versus the first and fourth. You know, it could be you're trying to ration his energy. You've got your star scorer things. You get it started hot and you finish the game. And it's worked for Southeast Select. So at first you're kind of like, what's he doing? Not playing his star more. And then it's kind of like, all right, well, if it works, then it works.
Certainly has done a good job of pacing him enough to be ready for the fourth quarter, though I think the argument still remains, even if the proof here is on the verge of a championship, that Trey Turner could get more minutes.
The proof's in the pudding, Marsh.
You look at, you know, the Golden State Warriors. They do not play Stephen Curry 38 minutes per game, as a triple here for Fareed Redmond gets us our first timeout. Southeast Select on top 16-14. We'll step aside with 2:10 to play in the first quarter championship game in Houston. Welcome back to Houston. Southeast Select on top 16-14. We'll take the sideline reporter yells to a little bit of high-profile faces in the crowd tonight, guys.
Yes, indeed. We got some scouts in attendance from the SWUB, Tennessee. Trey Turner already committed and announced there, made some comments, and they are in the house taking a look at Gabe Pope. They mentioned some other players are looking at, along with Michigan State and the U in the building.
High-profile game, high-profile scouts from some high-profile schools as Kasim Porter Jr. gets his first bucket. Terrell Pearson on the floor now for Southeast Select as Trey Turner takes a seat. 11 first-quarter points from Trey Turner, 3 of 3 from deep as Southeast Select has not missed a three-pointer yet. Here's Pearson to the rack. He's going to draw the foul on Kearney. Head to the free-throw line. And you mentioned the 27 points yesterday, actually on Thursday, beg your pardon, for Terrell Pearson. Siege, just one assist. Certainly a ISO Jamal Crawford-esque score off the bench for Southeast Select.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's got a very smooth game, but very aggressive when he comes off the bench. I mean, he's the microwave. You know, you think about a guy who comes off the bench and his immediate offense, instant spark. You think of Terrell Pearson. He comes off, he's aggressive, got to the line here. He can shoot, go skin off the ball. He can do a lot of stuff offensively. And that's not to mention he's a great perimeter defender. He can lock down a guard on the opposing team while he does all of that.
It's the first one to go. We're getting a very high-scoring game, which I suppose is exactly what you wouldn't expect, therefore I guess what you might expect from this game. But typically, championship games, winner take all, bring out the best of defense and not offense. And with two of the best defensive teams, we are getting exactly not that.
No, not at all. And something we talked about earlier.
Blocking that one is very
And something we talked about earlier was the key of three-point shooting in this game. Southeast Select has not missed a three-pointer so far. They're 4 for 4. Meanwhile, Beast of the East is about 67%, not bad. But if Southeast Select can keep raining it from 3, it's going to be tough.
Ball swings to Redmond, guarded here by Coco Bryce. Nice mid-season acquisition as well. Shot clock down to 1, have to chuck it. And that won't even touch rim. That'll be a shot clock violation. Second missed three-pointer here for Beasts of the East. 28.1 seconds left. Could try to drag this thing down, but Southeast Select may get another opportunity as Cuddy Show checks in. Cuddy XO, Cuddy Hugs and Kisses, however you want to go with that one.
I like Hugs and Kisses, Marsh.
Jumps it inside, of course. Justin Solomon can't get that to fall. Rattles all the way around the rim and out. Each of these can hold for the last shot if they want it. Kasim Porter Jr. does not. He's going to tie this thing up at 18 apiece. 8.6 seconds. Time for one last shot for Southeast Select. Pearson. Double team. Comes. He's going for 3. Can't get that one off the back rim, and that's going to end our first quarter. A high-scoring affair through the first 8 minutes. 18 apiece. Southeast Select. Beasts of the East. The defense hasn't quite come on yet. Should be on its way. Second quarter championship game coming up next.
And to make it 2-possession game, and they will.
Definitely gonna have to look elsewhere.
We're back in Houston. Top 2 defenses in SimWorld Hoops not quite arriving in the building yet as Southeast Select Beasts of the East tied up at 18 apiece siege. We're just seeing a lot of good offense. Terrell Pearson comes off the bench, gets a couple buckets. Trey Turner with 11 in that first quarter. Really not what we expected coming into this one.
No, not at all. We expected kind of a slow, grind it out type of game, but I mean, props to both these teams. They're hitting their shots. They're hitting tough shots. KPJ is kind of being that X factor we talked about he could be. He's leading the team in scoring with 6 points so far. Some nice moves to the rim, and so far it's been an offensive clinic.
Three won't fall there for Beasts of the East. Still no Trey Turner. Checked out with about 2 minutes left in the first quarter. He rests up. We'll see what that rotation pattern looks like from Coach Lee here in the second. There is Stack. Flips that one to Pearson. Pearson working on Porter. Deep 2. That's off the back rim and off.
Maybe this defense is starting to show up now, Marsh. We're seeing some missed shots.
Porter Jr. wants a 3. Won't fall. Rebound to Warnick. Well, certainly some of that can be attributed to the stars. Reed Redmond not on the floor. Trey Turner not on the floor. Doesn't matter for Justin Solomon, though, as he buries a triple. 45% shooter from deep, Justin Solomon.
Little off balance, off the screen 3 from him. That was impressive.
Number 1 ranked team in three-point shooting is Southeast Select, and certainly that figure is buoyed by Trey Turner's 65% shooting, 142 makes. Levin Cutler bodying up Warnick for 2. It's not just Trey Turner, although he certainly accounts for the vast majority of their threes.
You know, Mark, we haven't really given any attention to Levin Cutler for today's matchup. We talked about stars, talked about Fareed, but really Levin Cutler, I mean, he can be the heart of this team on any given day. He's so strong inside, so skilled. He's up there as potentially the most skilled offensive big man in the league, I would say. It's not unanimous, but I think he's up there. And if he can have his way with this 6'10 trio for Southeast Select, that's going to be a big thing to them.
Pull-up jumper there from Cuddy. That won't go. Bryce on the board. Cutler had a big game when these two teams matched up back in June. Scored 25 points at 7 boards, but it was a 4-point loss for Beasts of the East. A lot of that scoring late in the game really went down to Trey Turner and Fareed Redmond. Redmond had just 8 points in that affair. So certainly will need Cutler to keep them in this as Warnick gets 2 to go. But we'll need some support from this pretty deep guard roster as we get the first time out here of the second quarter for Beasts of the East. We'll step aside briefly, come back to Houston. Race to 1 championship game. Welcome back. Beasts of the East trailing by 3 to Southeast Select. Reminder to make sure you're liking, commenting, subscribing, and turning the notifications on to SimWorld TV on YouTube, the exclusive home of the Race to 1 in SimWorld Hoops action. We'll be back here next Saturday on SimWorld TV from Las Vegas for the All-Star Showcase.
Looking forward to I'm looking forward to that one. I mean, like you're about to say, those big names, and you get to see them in just like a different light. You know, it's a little more relaxed, a little more, you know, just free flowing. They're just having fun out there, and you get to see some guys play together who you otherwise just wouldn't get to see.
We will have some representation, of course. Southeast Select will be sending Trey Turner and Gabe Pope to that one. So, opportunity to be further represented, largest scale.
Substitutions on the floor.
5:20 to go. Trey Turner's checked back in here for Southeast Select, as has Gabe Pope. Pope with 5 in that first quarter. 11, of course, for Turner inside. That's going to be 2 points Leonidas Wright gets his first bucket of the game.
Leonidas is one of many kind of mid-season additions that this Beast of the East team made, and Coach Drayton did a great job of finding out what all those guys were best at, how could they fit into a rotation, and there was some trying times with that. They had some tough losses that maybe otherwise wouldn't have been there, but at the end of the day, he was able to figure out a rotation and to figure out a way to use all of these guys before the race to one, and it's showing success for them so far.
Work here is Cuddy hugs and kisses against Trey Turner. Turner, good verticality, but an offensive board. Putback goes. Beast of the East back on top. Defense has most certainly arrived here. Just 5 points for Southeast Select in the quarter as Gabe Pope driving to the rack, drawing a foul on Goodyear. Very hyper-aggressive Pope, despite missing his last bucket. He did draw the offensive board, draw the foul here. 6 points in the quarter for Beast of the East as we approach the halfway point. 5, as we mentioned, for Southeast Select.
And Marsh, I got word that one of our teammates here for SimWorld TV was able to speak with Isaiah James before the game, known as kind of a key defender for this Beast of the East squad. He was asking him how they plan to kind of slow down Trey Turner, and he mentioned they just got to kind of cut him off from his teammates. His exact quote was, he's a scorer, you can always score, but if you shut down the passing lanes, the whole team can't get it together. And so far, they're doing a pretty good job of that. Trey Turner has been getting his when he takes his shots, but a lot of other guys have been struggling so far for Southeast Select and haven't gotten it going. So, hey, he might be onto something here.
Gabe Pope gets both to go. Turner, as you mentioned, does have 11 points, but rising up.
Oh my
Leonidas
God.
right for 2.
And if they can keep him on the roster for next year, he's just going to continue to get better and better. He's a great two-way player, very strong going to the rim. I expect to see a lot more of him in the regular rotation next year.
10 seconds to shoot. Screen comes here from Warnick. Gabe Pope to the rack. Gabe Pope taking over in this first half. He's got 2 more. As Terrell Pearson has struggled, 2 points, 0-3. Cuddy hugs and kisses won't get that to go. Gabe Pope filling in. The offensive duties briefly left open was Trey Turner in the corner. They couldn't find him. Screen handoff, step back 3. Turner, yes sir,
God.
number 4.
He doesn't miss.
Dribble handoff there from Pope. A nice clean step back from Turner. Turner is doing his Steph Curry impression effortlessly. Tipped up, this one will be rebounded, pulled in from Baldridge. Turner now in transition. Eyeing another one. He's driving to the rack. Up. Slips it through, but can't get it to fall. Good defense there from Beast of the East. That'll be a jump ball. That'll be, I believe that is going to be Isaiah James. Big part, that's Cuddy hugs and kisses. Going up against Trey Turner. Hugs gets that one to go. Beast of the East. Eric Bousquet on the floor. He's checked in. Good bench stabilizing force for this team. Leads the team in three-point shooting. 52.5% from deep. Step back 3. This one's Goodyear. That one's a questionable shot here late in the second quarter.
And especially, Martin, you got 2 teams who are this good at defense, even though it's been a little higher scoring than we expected. You got to be really careful with the possessions you do get. So you got to be a little more mindful about the shots you're taking.
Well, Bousquet with good defense. This one, though, blocked by Warnick on the other end. Trey Turner, pull up 3, wants it, got it!
Yeah, you got to be kidding me.
Over top of Cuddy. Trey Turner is seeking blood and water, and Gabe Pope, the all-defensive selection, gets the steal. He's got Turner, corner, 3. Yes, sir, he gets another!
He's a man on a mission, Marsh.
Trey Turner continues to dominate as we get a timeout from Beast of the East. It's a 10-point game out of nowhere. Trey Turner, after getting 3 three-pointers in the first quarter, 3 more here in the second. In the last 4 minutes of action, Siege, he has been unconscious. His only miss right now is a blown layup.
Yeah, I mean, on the inside, he is a talented player, but when it comes to three-point shooting, I don't know if we've ever seen anyone in this league better than he is. There's few players I've seen in any high school league who shoot the ball better than he does, and he's showing it today. We know that last year they made it to the championship and weren't able to bring it home, and he's mentioned multiple times to his teammates that we're here for business. We're bringing it home this year, and he's looked like that all the way through the race to one. He's looking like it today.
You said you know few players. I'm going to go ahead out on a limb here and say I know none that have shot 65% from deep in 34 games. That's layup.
That's unheard
layup
of.
percentages, and keep in mind SimWorld Hoops plays from the NBA three-point distance, and he's shooting 65%.
Look, I know it's a process. He's already committed to Tennessee. He's going to do great things for that program. But I mean, this kid, I'm going to be honest with you. If you slotted him on an NBA roster today, I think he could make some kind of impact. Maybe not as big as he does in this league right now, but I mean, he could go out there and make an impact today.
Alley-oop attempt tipped away. That's good defense from Shake Travis and Southeast Select. Delivering some body blows here in the second quarter, trying to stagger Beasts of the East. Travis trying to get the layup to go, won't. Board here for right, head of the opposite direction. Skay. Many men trying to defend. Shake Travis, verticality, the block. Bousquet the offensive board though.
And Mark, what we haven't seen a lot of, and I would think maybe they'd switch around to this, is Levin Cutler's got to get more involved. We got to find a way to get him more involved if I'm Beast of the East.
Levin Cutler certainly has not been. He's just got 6 points this week. Gabe Pope with the ball now. Gabe Pope, the left-handed layup won't fall. I think it's short off the front rim. Yeah, Cutler has not been featured much. We haven't heard much of Reed Redmond as he gets the dribble handoff here. Step back, free throw line jumper, won't go. Levin Cutler the board, back up powerfully.
There he is.
Finally breaks the scoring drought for Beast of the East. Turner. He's going to hold the last shot. If Reed Redmond giving him a bit of space, folks. I'm not sure I would recommend being about 5 feet off them. Comes a double. Wide open is Keandre Baldridge, up and in. Baldridge says, Trey, you can do 3 the new way. Let me try to get 3 the old-fashioned way. And 1 opportunity on deck for Baldridge.
And March, so we're looking at Southeast kind of gaining control of this game. Early on, it was high-scoring, high-paced, and Southeast Select defense kind of did show up in the second quarter. Beasts of the East are scrambling a little bit from it, trying to figure out what they need to move to on offense and how they can slow down this onslaught of threes from Trey Turner, because that has been a problem.
Aldridge to the line. Turner again. 6 3-pointers in this one. Baldridge does complete the 3-point play. 9-point advantage here. 5.5 to play. Time for one last heave. They'll get it up to Cutler. Cutler looked like he might have been fouled. This one tips around and won't fall. Cutler's looking for John a little bit at the ref here, asking for a foul call. We head to the break, but an avalanche from Trey Burner Turner in the second quarter. 3 triples, and that has given Southeast Select Siege a 9-point advantage as we head to halftime.
Yeah, I mean, Trey Turner, he's the best 3-point shooter in the game. You could argue he's the best player in the game. He's on a mission. He's got the right mindset. He's doing everything he needs to be doing to keep this team rolling. And Gabe Pope's contributing a lot on offense as well. Not necessarily what we always see from Gabe Pope contribution-wise, but also getting a couple steals. And Southeast Select's defense has shown up, but their offense has not slowed down. On the other side, though, Beasts of the East kind of need to make some adjustments offensively. What they were doing at first, Southeast Select has made their adjustments and figured out. I would suggest going through Levin Cutler here in the second half.
Big first half, 20 points from Trey Turner. Southeast Select halfway to a title. Welcome back to Houston's second half action coming up. Southeast Select pulling away, or at least trying to, in the second quarter. And Gabe Pope with a steal right away as we kick things off in the third. Pope
And March,
go to work.
The way that Gabe Pope's been playing, he must know that those Tennessee scouts are in the building, because I know he's got a great relationship with Trey Turner, and he might be hoping him to meet him there in a couple of years.
Shocking first miss from Trey Turner. He had been 6 of 6 from deep. Misses his first 3 of the third quarter. So the defense for Southeast Select is in the building as well. Gabe Pope halfway down on that wide open corner 3. The size right now of Keandre Baldridge, Darius Stack Jr., and Shake Travis has really impacted the shots inside from the likes of Kasim Porter, Levin Cutler, Fareed Redmond, and Isaiah James. Redmond tries a 3, gets it to go.
Big time, and he's another one of those players that elevates his game as the game clock, gets down less and less. He somehow just gets better and better, so I do expect him to be coming up big in the second half.
Siege, odds are that Southeast Select or Piece of the East figures out some way to appropriately defend Trey Turner here in the second half.
Is there a way to really defend him? I mean, we've seen him hit threes with what it feels like defenders' hands on the ball. Like it looks like they've got a block on the ball and somehow he gets it to go in. I'm not sure there is a way to slow him down. I think your best chance is, like Isaiah James said, cut off everybody else and go 5-on-1 with Trey Turner scoring-wise.
Porter Jr. gets that layup. No contest there, surprisingly. Shake Travis back to 6 points. Here's Pope. Travis getting freed up on some off-ball screens. Doesn't want the 3. He wants to drive over top of Cutler. Halfway down and out. One name we haven't heard of much of in this one, Siege. No Jojo Kiernan. Really has not been the impactful force that we saw in many of the games leading up to this title game.
And I think they need him to be in the second half. He is that defensive anchor for this team. We talk about a lot of great defensive players, the Beast of the East, but when it comes down to it, he's the anchor for that defense when he's on the court. We kind of need him to be that more impactful player for Beast of the East and make that difference right now, because Southeast Select is rolling on offense.
Shake Travis draws the foul on right. That'll send him to line. Of course, Kearney had the game-winning block against Bad Boys Basketball, and Lorenzo Phenom came right after a Fareed Redmond jumper to give Beast of the East the advantage in that one. He's certainly been, that I believe is his 8th block of that game, if memory serves correctly, Siege. So really has a propensity for big moments in the defensive end. Leads the team in blocks with 2.4.
I mean, 2.4 blocks per game is nothing to laugh at. That's insane.
That still did not even lead the league. I believe that was Victoria Silgauskas with 4 blocks per game.
Which is even more insane. Which is that's incredible. You don't see that. That's an average of 4 blocks a game. It's actually out of this world.
Shake Travis gets the first, lining up the second here. Fareed Redmond having some words with somebody in the stands, it appears.
Yeah, and March, let's not forget, we heard news yesterday that after the semifinals game, there was a little altercation between a couple of the players out at a restaurant in Houston, and it seems like everything kind of calmed down. Nothing too bad happened, But you gotta keep that in mind. This game comes down to it. If it gets tight and championships on the line, it might get a little bit chippy.
Reach-in foul called there on Gabe Pope. Redmond checking out for Cuddy hugs and kisses.
Redmond checking out for Cuddy Zone.
And this is more than I've ever seen Trey Turner play in the second and third quarters.
We sat for the final 2 minutes of the first quarter. Checked back in with about 5 minutes left in the second. So got his 4 minutes, 5 minutes of rest. Right there. We'll see how long he goes in this third quarter. Trying to get free off-ball screens. They get it to him. Guarded tightly, however. Step back 3, little hesitation. And they are giving him far too much space, Siege. He just gave him a little triple threat jab, pull up, bucket.
Yeah, and he's already surpassed his point total from the last time these two teams met. Something's got to change. I don't know if it's putting Isaiah James on him strictly. I don't know if it's, playing up on him, tight on him like you probably should. Something like that, because he's rolling. Why are you giving him that kind of space?
Turner jaunts on in for a wide open finger roll, and the lead is 13, the largest of the game. Southeast Select threatening to pull away. Gabe Pope with the defense. Third steal for Gabe Pope as he strips Kasim Porter Jr. Goes inside, up, cannot get it. Is Kadarius Stack Jr. foul called on Kearney. Stack heads to the line. He's just a 61% free throw shooter, so if you were going to pick anyone to foul, Stack Jr. not the worst option here for Beast of the East to send to the stripe.
I'll tell you this, Marsh. With this Tennessee scout in the building right now and the way Gabe Pope's playing and all those steals, they're thinking he's going to look real good in orange next to Trey Turner after next year's season.
Well, soon that would depend on Trey Turner. Does he stay in college for more than a year as Stack Jr. misses the first? He's got the skill set that might make you think he's a one-and-done three-point shooter, but if he were to stick around, I'm not saying from an output perspective, but a name that comes to mind is J.J. Redick, from that type of southern guy, likes to shoot the threes and does it at an incredible clip. You could see a very similar output as J.J. Redick when he took over at Duke.
When I think about Trey Turner's mindset, does he have the skill after 1 year in college to be in the NBA? Absolutely. Like I said, I think he can make an impact right now. Another steal for Southeast Select, though, and it's Terrell Pearson this time. But when I think about his mindset, I just think, look, if say that his goal is going to be win a title with Tennessee as well, if they can't get that done in his first year, it would not surprise me at all to see him come back for his second year and try to get it done.
Timeout call by the Beasts of the East. We're going to step aside. Southeast Select is rolling right now, up 16 in the third. Welcome back to Houston. Southeast Select up by 16. Trey Turner is burning the nets here in Houston. The defense of Gabe Pope and Terrell Pearson just contributing a little steal and score of his own. And Beasts of the East look a little shell-shocked right now in that huddle siege.
Yeah, I think the lights in the moment, I think Southeast Select they've been here before. This is not new for a lot of these players, especially not Trey Turner, as we've seen. Beasts of the East have been really good at making adjustments all season, in game, between games, things like that. But I think right now they're a little bit shell-shocked. But this game is not out of reach. They can tighten up right now, kind of get that mindset of it's now or never. There's still plenty of time for them to try to make a run.
Have to find some way to turn the faucet off on the Southeast Select offense as Eric Bousquet checks in. Kasim Porter Jr. at the point guard position.
And Mark, I got word that the fire department's showing up, one, just to watch the game, and two, just in case Trey Turner decides to catch fire in the fourth quarter.
Well, he'll take a seat here midway through the third. Coco Bryce. Trey Turner has missed just 1 3. He's made 7 of them. Bryce trying to go on Cutler and gets it to go. Coco Bryce says, I'm not afraid of Levin Cutler.
Yeah, he's from the UK. He's not afraid of anything, you know.
Just wants a little fish and chips action. And we're on historic watch here. We mentioned Trey Turner, 7 of 8 from deep. SimWorld Hoops record. Most three-pointers made in the game, believe it or not, is not owned by Trey Turner, as Cutler gets his second bucket to fall. In fact, Turner's not even in the top 5, although tonight's 7 points, he has tied Brian Webb for 5th. But it is actually De'Aaron Cruz's 10 threes for Gulf Coast Lockdown that is a SimWorld Hoops record, so needing just 3 to tie that. I beg your pardon, 12 from Kadarius Loftus, my apologies. And Trey Turner is second with 10. You look like a before Lord. Darius Stack Jr. can't get that to go, so we're on title watch. He needs 5 more to tie. Kadarius Loftus is 12. Siege down by 14. Levin Cutler's getting rolling here a little bit. I'm going to go with a lot of it as his 3rd straight bucket makes it 12 points. Can they come back in this thing? And if they're going to, what do they have to do?
Well, I think they absolutely can, like we said. You know, after the last break, there's plenty of time left. They need to get their wits about them, calm, cool, collected, another great defensive play, get those stops, and like I said at halftime, run through Levin Cutler. He's been that guy. If he can get them within striking distance for the 4th quarter, but Reed Redmond's going to turn it on like he always does, and those two are going to, they can make it happen for this team.
More defense from Terrell Pearson up to Warnick. He gets it to go. Southeast Select, as Beast of the East is trying to dig their way back into this game. Southeast Select defense has come up huge here late in the 3rd quarter. Terrell Pearson, not necessarily somebody that might jump off the page as a guy who's going to anchor it. 2 steals here in this quarter.
That's what he does. He's a little Swiss Army knife. He can do whatever they need at any point.
Cutler! Tough defense from Warnick does not phase him. Cutler, 2 more. That's going to draw a Southeast Select timeout with 1:14 to go. So Southeast Select looked like they might be on get out of this thing and put it on cruise control with a 16-point advantage, but Levin Cutler's keeping this thing close, Siege. If they can get this to, let's say, 10 points entering the 4th quarter, maybe a better goal would be get to within 7. This thing is wide open.
Absolutely. I mean, this Beast of the East team, even though their defense hasn't looked it so far this game, they are the best defense in the league. They can make turnovers happen. They're absolutely capable of stringing together consecutive stops. And then on the other side, it's just they have to keep going to Levin Cutler. Eventually, they're going to start double-teaming this guy. As we saw on that last one, he's going to keep hitting contested post moves one-on-one. They're going to have to start doubling him. That's going to open up lanes. That's going to open up shots for his teammates. And this is a really good 3-point shooting team, Beast of the East is. Let's not forget that. So if he can kind of open up those shots, that's going to really open up their offense.
This is, he's going to work against Monse Warnick, not necessarily one of the better defensive bigs in the country, but he was having his struggles against Keandre Baldridge and Kadarius Stack Jr. when they were guarding him. So it'll be interesting to see what changes are made. The Levin Cutler moving over to the 5 now as Leonidas Wright checks in. Meanwhile, Warnick stays on the floor. Baldridge re-enters, so could be seeing that matchup. At least a little support from Baldridge. Pearson going to work on Bousquet. He wants to get it to the paint, and we're going to get a blocking foul called here. 3rd team foul won't send anybody to the line just yet as Reed Redmond checks in for, looks like we're going to be taking out Marion Goodwood.
And Coach Drayton did not like that foul call at all.
Questionable one at that. That did look like his feet were moving. Coco Bryce freeing up the 3. Wants it. Doing his Trey Turner impression by burying a 3. Lead back to 15. And Southeast Select answering the bell as Beasts of the East trying to rally. Good defense there from Terrell Pearson. Another 3-point attempt. That one's off the front rim for Beast. Long rebound corralled by Redmond. Screen from Cutler. Redmond downhill, up, and blocked, turned away, Terrell Pearson.
Oh my God, just play after play from this guy.
Coco Bryce says, sir, this is how you dunk. Rises up, and it's the largest lead of the game.
Coco Bryce is having himself a nice little game offensively today.
Good sir, this is how we rise in the UK.
Wasn't in the book.
Eric Bousquet off the front rim. Long rebound again corralled by Beast of the East. 12 seconds in the quarter and to shoot. Driving in. Big bucket from Isaiah James. Stops the bleeding temporarily. Pearson, 5 seconds to shoot. He's trying to find a lane. He's going to pull up from the free throw line, off the back rim and out. That'll end the quarter. Southeast Select, a late offensive burst. They're at 60 to 45 as we head to the fourth quarter. A big night of defense from Terrell Pearson. You see the block, a pair of steals in that quarter, and a 15-point advantage for Southeast Select entering the fourth. Fourth quarter tipping off here, at least rolling in. Southeast Select on top by 15 points. A huge night. Trey Turner on the day that follows the announcement that Bronny James was named Player of the Year. Trey Turner is making some voters maybe second guess that decision. He has been dominant in this one, leading Southeast Select to a 15-point advantage, and he's not even on the floor right now. The Southeast Select with the foot on the neck of Beast of the East right now.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't be surprised if he comes back in about the 4 or 5 minute mark and doubles that point total.
Levin Color leaves that one short. Good defense, Keandre Baldridge. You could tell the difference that Baldridge has on the floor for Levin Color and his comfort level. This one looks like stepping out of bounds with Shake Travis. And here comes in Gabe Pope for Pearson. So Trey Turner remains on the sideline, and that's worth watching. And this is tipped away. Gabe Pope, a ferocious defender, says, I am not going to allow you to make this very easy. And indeed, Trey Turner does check in. Out of the game goes Justin Solomon. So Pope is in. He's hounded on defense. Trey Turner is in. Pope not making life easy for Porter Jr. right now.
And Gabe Pope already has 3 steals, coupled with 5 assists, 2 rebounds, and 11 points. He is stuffing the stat sheet today.
Baldridge. He's wondering if that was actually a foul call as he slaps that one out of the hands of Reed Redmond. That'll send Redmond to the line for 2. Defense is needed here for Southeast Select, or for Beasts of the East, as they trail by 15 points. 7 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Redmond at the line, a chance to cut it to 13. This one's
And
up.
free throws, Marsh. Right now you're down, you got a deficit, hit your free throws, play good defense. Those are the basics of a comeback.
14-point game. Redmond, team's leading scorer this season. He's been held in check for much of this night. Gets the second one to go. Gabe Pope has been a phenomenal defender on Kasim Porter Jr., the team's leading assist man, and that's really gotten the Beasts of the East offense out of rhythm for much of this game. Three-pointer from Baldridge off the back rim and off. Rebound to Kearney. That's another name we really have not seen be impactful tonight, really because Southeast Select has gone to the three-pointers so relentlessly that it has not made Kearney be able to be impactful, but there is a phenomenal pass from Kasim Porter Jr. to a cutting Redmond, and now this is an 11-point game.
Hey, it's not out of reach. Get those stops, another couple stops, couple buckets to go with them, and you're really right back in this.
Man down will not matter as Trey Turner can't get that to go, and the mental hurdle that you can get if you get this to single digits here for Beasts of the East, we would have a heck of a finish on our hands. 6 minutes. Kasim Porter Jr., 11 Cutler, guarded by Baldridge. That one goes, it's a 9-point game.
What he does, it's what he does. This is the time in the game where your stars, your big guys, they show up. Levin Cutler for Reed Redmond. This is when everyone's looking at them like, all right, like it's time.
Big block there from Kearney. Blocks Gabe Pope. So he's following that order of operations you would outline, Siege. Playing good defense, getting some buckets. Inbound to Pope, to Baldridge. 12 seconds to shoot. Baldridge pulls this one out. Finds its way to Trey Turner. He wants a three. He gets the three and he looks at the Beast of the East bench before it even falls. Trey Turner, the audacity.
Put your hands up on him.
Levin Cutler answers, but 3 is always greater than 2. Lead is still double figures at 10. Trey Turner, an absolutely unconscious game right now. 8 of 9 or 8 of 10 from deep. Here's Kasim Porter Jr. returning the defensive presence. 3-pointer Redmond, yes sir, 9. Another 3, 7-point game now.
And KPJ is showing up. He struggled with some turnovers early due to Gabe Pope's defense, but like you said, return the favor there. A great dish to Fareed Redmond, and I mean, look, they're really back in this game now.
5 straight points for Beasts of the East. Wide open, Kadarius Stack Jr. to the rack. Gets it to go. Needs that to answer. We're 4.5 to play here in the fourth. Shake Travis hounding Redmond on the inbound. Here's Isaiah James. Working against Turner. Redmond freed up. Had a sliver of an opening. Decides not to take it. Instead, it's a deep 2 off the front rim. Levin Cutler says, I'll take care of this for you.
Good sir, I will take care of this rebound for you.
Cutler having a really great second half here, Siege.
Yep, and I mean, look, we talked about it. That's kind of what they needed to do to get the offense flowing again after they started slowing down in that second quarter. Levin Cutler really wasn't part of the offensive explosion in that first quarter, and now they're starting to kind of go to him, see a little bit more from him, and I think that's making all the difference in the world right now.
4:04 to play in the fourth. 7-point game. Beasts of the East were down by as many as 17 in this second half. They have rallied back. They were trailing by 15 to start the fourth. Halfway through, they've basically cut that deficit in half. And the Pope miss, and here they go.
Cut it to 5 here.
+8 in the quarter. They'll need another +8 in the second half of this thing to get the victory. Ball swings to Fareed Redmond inside the Cutler. Cutler going to work. Double team comes. And we're going to get an offensive 3-second violation. Too long hanging out in the paint. A tough call there, but Cutler whistled for the infraction and a costly turnover with a chance to cut it to 5 or potentially 4 for Beasts of the East.
Just need another stop here. That's fine, you just need another stop here.
Redmond giving him a lot of space. Maybe too much space. Hand off to Stack. Stack trying to go downhill. Cut off there on defense, but he redirects the attack. Kamari and Goodyear can't stay in front of him.
Shake and bake Travis.
Redmond guarded by Travis here. Tries to shake him. Does. He swapped on his Kadarius Stack. Swings. Three-pointer for Goodyear. That's off the front rim. And now under 3 to play. The lead is 9. We're going to step aside. Come back here shortly. Back fourth quarter, under 3 to play. Southeast Select on top by 9. They've weathered some big pushes here for Beasts of the East in the quarter, but a couple of defensive stands and a late bucket on last time down has this thing up to 9. Ball in the hands of Trey Turner. Kicks it. Baldridge 3. Off the back Stack. The putback. Kadarius Stack skying in for the tip-in. And the lead is back to 11. And Siege, we've hit the magic number 69. And it feels like that one just might be enough to give Southeast Select the advantage here.
That one was a little disheartening. Big 3 here, though, and he hits it.
Answer from Porter Jr. They'll need a perfect defensive finish here to pull this thing off. 2 minutes to go. Fourth quarter. 8-point advantage for Southeast Select. Isaiah James slaps the floor, trying to will the defense into place. Ball swings to Shake Travis. 10 seconds to shoot. Back to Baldridge. They're hounding Turner, denying the ball. Baldridge going to work up. Can't get it to fall. The first step getting the stop. Here comes Redmond. Driving, gets the foul. Can't get the bucket to go, but he'll head to the line. 142, chance to cut it here to 6.
And that's a big one for multiple reasons. You get 2 free throws from a big-time player, and you get the clock stop. You guys can take a breather real quick. You know, get that defensive energy staying up because you get to take a little rest here just for a second. That's big. Getting to the free throw line is definitely ideal right now.
Redmond gets the first to go. He's an 84% free throw shooter. Checking in here. Out goes Isaiah James. In comes Marion Goodyear. Terrell Pearson, meanwhile, he checks in. Surprising substitution here. Gabe Pope out. Terrell Pearson in, but Pearson's defense has really stepped up in the second half. 2 steals and a block in that third quarter.
Yeah, maybe their thought is get Terrell going with Trey Turner and just kind of run away with it instead of locking up on defense.
Pinned down screen, leaves Turner open, doesn't want the 3, wants to bleed the clock, and another steal.
Jay with the poke away.
Reed Redmond wants the 3. We're not done yet, folks. We got a 3-point game.
I'll tell you what, KPJ has upped his game here in the second half. He's doing a little bit of everything. Scoring, defense, facilitating. He's been big for them.
Just like that, it's a 3-point game, and that won't fall, and it's a chance to tie it with just over a minute to play. Kick, 3-pointer. We got a tie ball game. Oh my goodness, Kamari and Goodyear. We are tied at 69 apiece, an 11-0 run in a minute. Beasts of the East suddenly in this thing, tied up. And the defense has arrived. Terrell Pearson, Trey Turner with the ball for Reed Redmond. Guards him, pull up, 3, off the back rim and a chance to take the lead. Beasts of the East
Southeast Select's looking scrambled here, Marsh.
Fareed Redmond and an offensive 3-second violation. And Fareed Redmond can't believe it as he looked like he tried to get out of the paint. He just couldn't do it. 30.5 to go. Southeast Select basketball, unsurprisingly, ball in the hands of Trey Turner, guarded by Redmond above the three-point arc. He goes to work, drives to the rack. He's up. Off the back rim, won't go. Beasts of the East has a chance here. Timeout for Beasts of the East, Siege. 19.5 seconds left. We're stepping aside, coming back shortly.
Playing jazz.
Playing jazz.
Smoothie.
Making smoothie.
Calendar.
No meetings today. Remember, tandläkare at 9:30.
Fire off.
Fire off.
Open door.
Door open.
Sånn. Så skal vi sette en til.
Ja. Open door.
Wrong voice command.
Open door.
Wrong voice command.
Open. Open door.
Repeat that.
Open door.
I didn't understand that.
Hey! Open door!
Play on the floor.
Get over the floor! Open the door!
Wrong
Open the door!
command. Error.
Hey there, with a rock. Open door. Open door.
Higher volume. Higher.
69-69. 19.5 seconds left. Beast of the East has rallied with 11 straight points in the last minute and change, Siege, to tie this thing up. Where is the ball going? The Beast of the East with a chance to win.
Look, I think there's a couple routes you can go. We'll always be looking for the best shot. Regardless of what happens, you got to play what you're given and get the best shot. But I think the ball, at first, I'm trying to go inside to Levin Cutler. I'm trying to see if he gets a double team. I'm trying to see if he gets a one-on-one against someone that isn't Keandre Baldridge or Stack. And after that, I want to get a high screen and roll from Fareed Redmond. He's hit these shots before. He knows how to do it, and he always seems to come up big.
69 apiece. Winner gets the crown. Loser is walking out of here ever so disappointed. One timeout each team. Inbound here to Kasim Porter Jr. He's trying to go to work. It's Terrell Pearson on him. No Gabe Pope on the floor. Leading the clock to 10 seconds. Screen for Cutler. Inside to Cutler. Guarded by Baldridge. 4 seconds up. Won't fall. Rebound. Timeout.
Wow.
And it's going to be a timeout for Southeast Select. They're going to advance the ball. A chance to win this thing, Siege. Great defense from Keandre Baldridge. We talked about Levin Cutler. You mentioned get the ball to him. They did. But Cutler had been very successful against Warnick, not so much against Baldridge, and no bigger defense there. We're going to step aside. 3.1 when we come back. We should be getting a champion in SimWorld Hoops.
Playing jazz.
Playing jazz.
Smoothie.
Making smoothie.
Calendar.
No meetings today. Remember, tandläkare at 9:30.
Fire off.
Fire off.
Open door.
Door open.
Sånn. Så skal vi sette en til.
Open door.
Wrong voice command.
Open door.
Wrong voice command.
Open. Open door.
Repeat that.
Open door.
I didn't understand that.
Hey! Open door!
Play on the floor.
Get over the floor! Open the door! Open the door!
Error.
Hey there, with a rock. Open door.
New century, I'm suited up because the game is on. Go to my pilot recipes, although it stay
this wrong. I'm saying strong while I cheat through this hood lie. Cause we done had a little sample of the good lies. Studios and close shows, you a superstar. Money folks to the door cause of who you are. The harder part of life living. Cause every single thing you ask for was given. I ain't tripping. Once I was told by this wise old man to take my time for as long as I can. Be in control of your destiny. You have the world in the palm of your hand.
.1 seconds, 69 apiece, Southeast Select ball. They are going to have an opportunity to win this thing here. You have to imagine, Siege, before this kicks off, you're going to Trey Turner here?
I think you're going to Trey Turner, whether he's got an open shot or a contested one. I think there's no reason he shouldn't be the one taking this shot unless he's got 4 guys on him.
Inbound, trying to find Turner. This is the long one, almost got the 5 seconds. Turner, 3, at the buzzer! Oh, it won't fall! We're headed to overtime. Trey Turner unable to put this thing away. And Southeast Select, Beasts of the East, 32 minutes. Not enough to decide a champion in Houston. We need extra time.
Basketball.
69 apiece, overtime, coming up next. Overtime in Houston to decide a champion. Southeast Select, Beasts of the East. It was Fareed Redmond carrying the offensive load in that 4th quarter. 12 points in the frame to tie this thing up. Kasim Porter Jr., the corner pocket 3 to knot it at 69 apiece, and the defense is locked in from there. If you have not liked, commented, and subscribed to SimWorld TV on YouTube, I'm not sure what's wrong with you at this point in time. We are being treated to inarguably the best game in SimWorld Hoops history, and Fareed Redmond confidently kicks it off with a 3-pointer.
He's clutch. He's clutch. It's what he does.
Going to the work is Kadarius Stack. That's going to be blocked. Levin Cutler on the turnaway. Here comes Redmond. It's now a 14-0 run since they trailed by 11. Redmond says that would be 16, a 5-point advantage with 3 minutes to go.
And Mark, they've got all the momentum after that 11-0 run. They went on to knot it up at 69. Ever since then, Southeast Select has still not scored a point.
Notably, they really went cold when Gabe Pope came out the floor as Trey Turner pulls up for a tough 2 to answer. And Pope is not on the floor right now in the fourth quarter. It's Terrell Pearson out there for for Southeast Select.
As good as Terrell Pearson is, I think right now with the way this game has gone, I would love to see him be on the floor, Gabe Pope. Oh my God, Fareed
Skying in for the alley-oop is Fareed Redmond. And that'll be a timeout for Beasts of the East. We'll see if there's a change. Lead is 5 for Beasts of the East. We'll step aside, come back with 2:35 to play in overtime.
RSK, let it play, boy.
76-71, Beasts of the East, 5-point lead. They rallied from down 11 with just over 2 minutes to go, Siege, or really about a minute and a half. What's been the difference, and what have you seen here thus far in overtime?
I mean, thus far in overtime, it's just been Fareed Redmond, Fareed Redmond, Fareed Redmond. We've talked about him as one of the most clutch players in the league. I think he arguably is the most clutch player in the league. He's right up there with Trey Turner. I think that's the discussion for me between the two of them. But he's been unbelievable in this overtime period. I think what changed for Southeast Select, and yeah, I think it's Gabe Pope's not being in the game. Once he came out of the game, the whole team kind of got a little scrambled. I think he needs to get back in there, and I think his teammates agree. We saw them belligerently begging Coach Lee to get Gabe Pope back into the game right now and kind of get the ship straightened right now.
Pope's checked out at around that point when the lead was at 9 for Terrell Pearson. And since then, Southeast Select has just 2 points. 71-76, Beasts of the East on top. Southeast Select ball. Still no Pope. It's Terrell Pearson, who they inbound to. Swings to Shake Travis, back up to Pearson. Trey Turner trying to get free. Guarded by Redmond. Does get free. Wants a three over the top of Redmond. Gets it to go.
Let's not forget how clutch that man is either. We're going to see him and Fareed show down.
9th made three-pointer for Trey Turner. Porter Jr. in the corner. Redmond trying to get free. He does. Left open for a split second. Doesn't bother with the three. Gets a screen from Cutler. Drives in. No defense from Baldridge. Fareed Redmond declined the screen. Got past Turner. And it's a 4-point game. Under 2 to play. 33 points for Trey Turner. 29 now. And a snatch block from JoJo Kearney.
Mark, he's got 13 boards and 4 blocks with no shot attempts. Talk about a defensive anchor. He does his job, gets boards, plays defense. Sensational piece.
Porter Jr. open. This one's going to be blocked as well for Southeast Select. Chance to get within 2, maybe 1. They want Turner. He wants a 3 off the front rim. Good defense there, JoJo Kearney. They need another stop. Southeast Select down by 4 for Reed Redmond. Double comes. Swings it over to Goodyear. Goodyear screen from Cutler. One against Stack. Up. No good. Rebound to Stack. Under 1 to play. Stack Jr. trying to pound one inside on for Reed Redmond. Trey Turner gets the screen. Double team comes. And it's stolen. Stolen by Beast of the East. Inside. Up. No good. Rebound for Baldridge.
JoJo Kearney rushed that shot attempt.
Baldridge with the ball. Inside to Stack. Trey Turner guarded by Kearney. He's got double teamed. Goes to Stack. Stack the foul call. He'll head to the line. 26.7 left. Kadarius Stack Jr. again a 61% free throw shooter. So if there's anyone you're going to send to the line, this is probably the guy you want. And notably, still no Gabe Pope checking in for Coach Lee.
You know, I'm a big Coach Fred Lee fan. I really love what he does. This is one of the few times I've disagreed with his philosophy. The fact that Gabe Pope hasn't been in the game for this long with what's going on, it's shocking to me, to be honest.
Stack gets the first one. It's a one-possession game. Likely still in the range that you probably want to foul here with 26.7 seconds left. 1 timeout for Southeast Select, 2 for Beast of the East. We'll see if they use it after this free throw.
You got this guy out here? Yeah, I got big man.
Cut to 2. Eerily quiet here in Houston. Second one. Good.
All right, Stack.
Kadarius Stack Jr. Try to inbound. They do to Redmond, and immediately a foul. The first on Trey Turner. Still no Gabe Pope, but might be favoring offense. Though Pearson struggled tonight. 1 of 7.
Look, as long as the ball doesn't get the KPJ, which it's going to here,
it does.
It's a perfect free throw shooter.
Now, again, Kasim Porter Jr., as you just mentioned, has not missed a free throw all season. I know we're opening ourselves up to the announcer's jinx, but this is the time you open that question mark.
March, absolutely not. Perfect free throw shooter. There's no way he's dropping that title now.
Needs 2 to make it a 2-possession game. First one. Good. Needing another
phased.
Southeast Select, likely to take their final timeout after this. We'll keep an eye to advance it. Second one for KPJ. Good. Remains perfect, and indeed a timeout for Beasts of the East. Gabe Pope has been on the sideline for Southeast Select since about the 1-minute mark in the 4th quarter. And Beasts of the East has taken full advantage with a struggling night from Terrell Pearson. Are you going up for a 3-pointer here, Siege, or are you just trying to get the best shot of it?
I mean, look, the best shot available 90% of the time is a Trey Turner 3 for this team. We've seen a couple times, though, he gets double teamed out on the perimeter and he's able to dish it inside to one of his bigs from a late rotation from Beast of the East and get an easy bucket inside. I think if you can get that quickly, you go for that. But I think the ball comes to Trey Turner off of a down screen or something. They run that play they run a lot, is where they have him come off the wing, off a screen, and get the ball closer to the top of the key. I think we see that, and depending on how Beast of the East plays it, he's either going to shoot that thing or he's going to get it inside to one of his bigs for an easy bucket.
Reed Redmond has carried this team on offense. The Beast of the East has rallied back. Phenomenal defense from JoJo Kearney here in overtime, including a contest on a deep 3 from Trey Turner in the corner. They'll need a bucket. Southeast Select had a chance to win this thing at the buzzer in the 4th, as did, truthfully, Beasts of the East, but Cutler couldn't get one to go for Beasts. Turner couldn't get one to go for Southeast Select. In overtime for Reed Redmond has been dominant. Turner's gotten a couple buckets, but Redmond's been the offensive leader from both teams here. 24.3 to go. Trying to free up Turner. Open briefly in the corner, up to Terrell Pearson. Turner calling for the ball. He gets it. 19 seconds. Double team comes inside to Baldridge. 15 seconds. Precious time clicking off. Almost a 3-second violation there. Swings back to Turner. He wants a 3. Gets it to go! 1-point game!
Oh, man. Sweet time with it, but they got it.
This is taking some time to get the inbound. They finally get it to Redmond. It's up to Kasim Porter Jr. 6 seconds. They finally foul him. And Kasim Porter Jr. with 5.4 will head to the line. remaining perfect on the SimWorld Hoops season. He needs 2 to make it a 3-point game. No timeouts for Southeast Select. They can't advance it. 10 3-pointers now for Turner. Here's Porter Jr. to keep his mark. He gets the first. Yet to miss a free throw this entire season. Can he get the most important one here? Yes, sir, he does. No time to advance. They're going to go to Pearson. Pearson across the midline. He's going to pull up for a 2. Unquestionable! An unquestionable decision from Terrell Pearson. And that's going to do it. Beasts of the East reign supreme in SimWorld Hoops. They defeat Southeast Select in Houston. They are the best team in SimWorld Hoops.
Trey Turner can't believe it.
An absolutely unbelievable decision by Terrell Pearson to pull up for 2 at the buzzer and not get the ball into the hands of a visibly distraught Trey Turner. That's going to do it. Beast of the East on top, 82-81, the new champions of SimWorld Hoops. Post up coming up next. See the game. Be the game.
The race to 1. We got 1 week, 1 tourney, 1 winner, 1 chicken dinner.
Put those fours up, folks. It is fourth quarter time. Look.
My bracket is busted.
Bracket's busted.
16 teams en route to the deciding champion.
The ball is tipped, and there you are. You're running for your life. You're a shooting star, and all the years. No.
10 seconds, I don't know. Oh, look at this. Ethan Carter nails it.
But now it shows.
It was a tech. It was a tech. It's a technical. Oh my! That was a flagrant foul.
Great pass from Porter, and the shot falls anyway.
But time is short, and the road is long. In the blinking of an eye, that moment's gone, and when it's done, win or lose, you always did your best. 'Cause inside you knew that it
Here we go.
Now Coach Jake's 3 goes up and dumps it.
2-point game. OG still in the leading. It was denied by assistant David Robinson, and I'm talking about that brother could play like no.
Feel the beat of your heart, feel the wind in your face. It's more than a contest, it's more than a
By Redmond, Phenom, guarded by Kearney. Double team comes. Phenom over the turn away. Are you kidding me?
Possession, but instead Trey has another clean look and buries it. 3 straight.
win or lose. You always did your best. 'Cause inside you knew.
Behind with number 6. And there's a. Oh my goodness!
Final number 1 in the SimWorld Hoops race to 1. Shoot. Pearson going to work behind the back and in.
It's victorious Ilgauskas right back at them, sending it into the wall here at the SimWorld Sports Arena.
And Beast of the East will be advancing to the Race to 1 championship finals on Saturday to play Southeast Select.
Beasts of the East reign supreme in SimWorld Hoops.
Thank you all for coming out, and we look forward to seeing you in our next year on SimWorld Hoops.
And ladies and gentlemen, the Race to 1 championship has finally concluded. Unfortunately, it didn't take 32 minutes. We had to go into overtime. we had a man who single-handedly scored 36 by his own right. I might need to get a fact check on that, but 36 in his own right. But at the end of the day, the Beast of the East pull off the most improbable comeback in a Race to One history, in Sim World history, probably. And as I always say, we've got everything that you need to know here on the Post Up. It is your man LOB on this special edition of the Race to One Post Up here with my main man Jalen in the cut. What's going on today, Jalen? What's going on, man?
Man, what did we just watch, LO?
I don't know. I couldn't even tell you. I couldn't. I mean, I just can't. I couldn't even tell you. But I mean, this game had it all. I mean, we had the defensive struggles, we had the offensive scoring, we had the two clutch players going back and forth, we had some unsung heroes, we had the big lead, we had the 11-0 run. I mean, we had it all. But Jalen, I mean, did anyone expect to be the Beast of the East to go out and do what they did tonight?
No, there's no way that anybody could have saw this coming. Like, what we saw in the first half from Southeast Select, I think that's what we expected to see from them. And them coming back, they have a bunch of guys on their team that have been here before. They've been in these big moments. They looked a lot more comfortable than Beast of the East early on. And I think that played to Beast of the East advantage down the stretch. I mean, they looked like they started to play a little more carefree. Like they had nothing to lose. Like, let's just go all out, guns blazing. And it looked like Southeast Select tightened up in the fourth quarter.
Definitely did. It definitely did look like that. And it's one of those things where, like you said, Southeast Select has been in this position before. Last year they went to the championship. So going into this game, they definitely had that look in their eye that they weren't phased. They were determined. They led in the hands of Trey Turner, who completely had an amazing scoring outburst tonight. I mean, you couldn't ask for much more from him. And I mean, the way that Gabe Pope played tonight too, you couldn't ask for a better game out of those two. 36, 2-2 for Turner, and 11, 2-5, 3 steals for Gabe Pope. But I think the most blinding thing is that Terrell Pearson, 16 minutes, only 6 points. I mean, and we've seen him throughout this entire Race to One. He's been on fire, but when you go 2 for 8 from the field in the biggest game of the season, I mean, that's not what you're looking for. That's definitely not what you're looking for. And then to inherently take a 2 at the end here and not get the ball in the hands of Turner, it's just upsetting. It was sad for them. I was sad for them when they went out like that.
Yeah, I mean, Coach Bradley, he's one of the best coaches in SimWorld, if not the best coach in SimWorld. But today, I don't understand. In that fourth quarter, when Beast of East is going on that run, you take out your best defender in Gabe Pope, and you go with Terrell Pearson, who, up until the last shot of the game, which didn't matter, he was 1 for 7 in the game. I mean, he's an offensive player, and he wasn't giving you anything. So, for him to make that decision at that point in time and never go back to Gabe Pope, very questionable.
Yeah, I didn't understand it at all. But looking at it from the other side, I mean, the pairing of number 10 and number 11 for Reed Redmond and Levin Cutler, 29 points for Redmond in this one. Levin Cutler with 22 and 8 on 10 of 14 shooting. Fareed Redmond, 10 of 18 shooting, 5 of 7 from the 3-point line. But I think the unsung hero, and I was talking about this earlier in the game, I don't know if people seen it, but I mentioned earlier, Kaseem Porter Jr. in this game needed to not be afraid of Gabe Pope, not shy away from the bright lights. And for him to go out, especially talking about how he had a bad game last game and how he bounced back in this one, 15 assists, 6 for 6 from the line. That's big. Hadn't missed a free throw the entire season, and still to this day hasn't missed a free throw. I mean, he stepped up big in this game. The way that he played in this one tonight definitely was the unsung hero of tonight's game.
For sure. You need in these championship games or in any big game, you need your best players to come and be their best and lead the way for everybody else. And I think from Beast of the East, when you get 29 from Redmond, 22 from Cutler, and then you get another 15 from Kasim Porter. I mean, you can't ask for much more on the offensive end from that. It's easy to watch this game and look at everything that Southeast Select did wrong, but you have to give credit to what they did right.
Definitely have to get credit to the coaching staff, to the players, to the system that they put into play. I mean, like I said, this game just had it all. But congratulations to the Beast of the East coming through with the victory in the Race to One championship, and that they finally sit atop the Sim World Mountain. Well, we've got some other things coming up, ladies and gentlemen. Don't worry, Sim World Basketball is not going anywhere. Do not forget that the Saturday Prep Showcase a week from today, August 26th, will be happening. We're gonna have some great people on the call, some great talent, some great games. So make sure you don't miss out on that. I definitely got to step out there with my swagger and put on a show for the Prep Showcase. I'm gonna definitely be out there, but the question is, are you gonna be out there? You don't want to miss it. Stay tuned for the Saturday Prep Showcase coming on the 26th. And there's a lot of stuff, as we get close to wrap up this season, there's a lot of stuff that's been going on in these past couple of days that I feel like we haven't mentioned. One thing, Coach Darius Simmons, or is it Darius Simons? I just want to make sure. Coach Darius Simmons stepping down as the head coach of Queen City Kings. And I was shocked when the news came out whenever I saw it, Jalen. What'd you think?
Yeah, I think it's pretty shocking news. I'm not quite sure. I didn't see a reasoning for why he chose to step down. I'm thinking possibly he has an opportunity at the next level coming up. I think that with the talent they had this year, they underachieved in the second half of the season. The first half, I think they were in the race to one all the way through, and they might have went on, I believe, like a 7 or 8 game losing streak towards the end of the season, and just fell out. The bottom just fell out of it. So I'm hoping that he, finds his feet somewhere else. But I'm definitely surprised that at this point in the season, like the day of the championship game, for this news.
Definitely not. Along with that, I believe this was 2 days ago, but also Coach Olsen heading to Oceana. And I mean, the talent that they have in Oceana, I think that Coach Olsen definitely would have a great job filling in that role. I think he just needs to hone in the talent that he has on that team. But those are very big changes, especially in the coaching division. And I'm excited to see what next season has to hold for us. I'm honestly excited for next season.
Yeah, Coach is referring to Coach Olsen Myers from Rocky Mountain. He finished the season for Rocky Mountain this year. He did a great job with that group. I mean, to go that far with a team that he didn't put together, a team that I don't think anybody had high expectations for coming into the season. I think that if he can keep those pieces over there at Oceana, I don't know how much him going there plays a role in keeping a Richard Hennessy, a Cole Webb around, but if he can keep those pieces and add on to it, I think that Oceana will have a good chance next year.
Most definitely. I'd have to agree with that. Keeping the pieces together and making sure that they're all on the same page. This could prove big for Oceana in the next season. And finally, to mention, Bronny James coming out with the Player of the Year award here for Sim World Hoops. I mean, well deserved. Unfortunately, I feel like his season was quite short. It would have been nice to see him in the race to one this year. But I mean, Bronny James winning Player of the Year. Jalen, what's your thoughts?
I think I let a lot of my thoughts out yesterday in the feed. As far as the Player of the Year, I didn't necessarily agree with the choice, but at the same time, I mean, you can't really argue with what he did this year.
Well, who was your pick then? Who was your pick then, if that's the case?
Lace Darius Outlaw all the way. He was my pick for this.
Okay.
And the vote, right. I mean, the vote was extremely close between the two.
It was.
I mean, it could have went either way. I wouldn't have been mad. I'm not mad that Bronny James is the Player of the Year, and I am upset.
He is.
No, a little bit. But I mean, I would have liked to see him in the race to one. I would have liked to see a Bronny James run to see how Showtime would have fared against this Southeast Select team with their best player.
Most definitely, I would have loved to see that. I would have had Trey Turner up there. I mean, the way that he played this season, especially the game that we just seen, we know that he's a force to be reckoned with on the offensive and defensive end. And I think what a lot of people, mistake or they don't pay attention to as much for him is his passing ability. I mean, the times when he was getting double teamed at the top of the key and he'd be able to find an open man cutting or sitting at the free throw line. I mean, he did that a lot in this game. So I would have had to put Trey Turner in there for that, player of the year, but congratulations to Bronny for winning that award. But this is the post up, and we're not gonna shy away from anything that we don't normally do. So, Jalen, you get the same treatment as everybody else. All right, it's time still here to post up, and I want you to give me your 3 in the key, your 3 best moments throughout this entire season.
Oh. I think this game right here for Beast of the East, I think this has to be for me number 1. I think just the importance of the game, how big of a game this was, and to come back, you're down 11 with 2 minutes and 30 seconds left, and you win. You're down 15 going into the fourth. You end the game on a 37-21 run after not getting anything done through the first 3 quarters against one of the best defensive teams in the league. I don't think you can beat that. From my another big moment. I want to say Asia Pacific, how they ended the season.
Definitely.
Their last two games, I believe it was Bay Area and Best Coast, where they both went down to the wire, and they were game winners in both games, I believe. So that was another big one.
Definitely have to put that one in there
for sure. I'm trying to think of a third. I'm gonna go with, just because I'm a Houston native. One of my favorite games to watch was watching H-Town Hoopers come back. I believe they were down like 20 in the second half to Oceana. Oceana that was big. On the boat. I think that was a big game. For me, that was one of my personal favorites.
Now, I'm gonna put this in one. I'm gonna put this one in there as an honorable mention. But I just believe the fact that throughout this entire season we've seen Coach Alyssa Dodge chew up and spit out her players, but they had a great season this year. And then to finally hear her speak for the first time on the post up, and Rick Blade was absolutely going nuts because he didn't believe that was actually her. Then proceeds to have the snapshot, which I can confidently say that photo was photo of the year from Coach Alyssa Dodge. That needs to be framed up somewhere in the SimWorld Hall of Fame. That will forever go down as one of the greatest photos ever taken. I need to find that cameraman and get the original camera, and that will be preserved, because that photo right there is iconic. I mean, just an iconic moment from Coach Dodge.
Yeah, it's everywhere. Every time I open up the feed, I see the same picture. So I would agree with that.
The Twitter heads are out tonight, and the memes have been going absolutely crazy, and you gotta love it. I mean, this is what we asked for. This is SimWorld basketball, not just great hoops, but great memes too. So that's just you can't be mad at that, Coach Dodge. We appreciate you for sure. We love you, the work that you put in this season, and you're going down in the Hall of Fame. Maybe not for the reason you may have wanted to, but I mean, you're definitely going in the Hall of Fame for that photo. Gotta be.
Got it.
But that wraps up, I mean, this game. I mean, I'm just still in shock of the game. I mean, the way that it all culminated. I mean, the poetic justice that was happening throughout this entire game. I mean, the Trey Turner versus Fareed Redmond, the 11-0 run that was started by number 11. I mean, the way that the Kasim Porter bounced back in this one, the way that Gabe Pope continued to show his dominance, the controversy at the very end of it. I mean, it was so much back and forth, had me on the edge of my seat. But congratulations once again to the Beast of the East for winning the Race to One championship. I mean, that's got to be such a sweet feeling for them. And I'll be in Beast of the East territory, and they're going to be living it up and celebrating, and don't think I won't be there in the mix with them. So
yeah, I'm definitely going to have to head out to that parade.
You know what? Now that I look at the clock here, yeah, I know my Sim World Jet is definitely waiting for me. We got to get ready to go here. But ladies and gentlemen, we want to thank you all for tuning in to another amazing season of Sim World Hoops. From the beginning to the very end, I mean, you had to be there for all of it. But for everybody here on the production team, I mean, this great family, great community, great team that we've built here did an amazing job this season. I mean, the guys, I mean, the guys did an amazing job this year. Got to give props to them, kudos to them. But for everyone here at Sim World Hoops, this is our last and final post up of the season. I'm here, LOB, with my main man, Jalen. Everybody on the production team, we love you all. But thank you so much for an amazing season. And we'll see you on August 26th for the Saturday Prep Showcase here on Sim World, who's the only place where you can see the game, be the game.